In order to set up our AJAX tester, we're going to need a few things. So the first thing that we're going to need is a form to take in some inputs, as well as we're going to need to have a default API connection that we can try out and add into our application. There's a great front-end API tester here that's REST API ready to respond to your AJAX requests. So let's go ahead and copy this one out. I'm going to just put it into my script tags. And then the requests there's a number of options. So you can create with a post, you can get for a single user. So let's just add this one for now. So this is essentially our placeholder. So when we refresh, we see that we've got some data there that's sitting there. So JSON formatted, all ready to go. So let's go ahead and build that out. So we need a div. And this is going to be the URL that we want to enter into our tester. And then we'll pick up the information from this URL within our JavaScript code. So type text, name equals URL. And then we've got a value. So let's add this one in as our default value so that we always have one ready to go there. Another thing that we definitely need is we need a way to submit this information. So we're going to need a button in order to make our request. So let's build that out. I'll make this a little bit bigger so that we're all on one line here. So input, type, and let's create a button this time. Give it a name. So let's call it sender. And a value, make request. So this is the one that's going to actually initiate sending that request. So next, we need to hook this up within our JavaScript in order to make our requests. So let's do document. So the name is sender. And we'll grab that element and let's add the event listener. And the event listener that we're going to add in is click. And then whenever it clicks, then we're going to build out a function that's going to make request. And let's go down here and set up our function make request. So I'm not passing any parameters, and for now we'll just console log and we'll say worked. So let's go ahead and try this out. So refresh, make request. There we go. We see it's got worked. Now there's also one other thing that I wanted to add in because we are just doing plain JavaScript. So I want to make sure that the DOM has loaded. Because when we're trying to access an event listener, in case you put your script tags above your body, or if there's any problems loading it, we don't want to try to add our event listener before our page has loaded. So let's add in another event listener, and this event listener is going to listen for the DOM loading. This is going to be similar to what jQuery does. So let's open up our editor a little bit larger and paste that one in. So that one is document, add event listener, and it's waiting for the DOM content to load. And then once the DOM content has loaded, then we're ready to fire off our event listener. So there we go. So let's give that one more try. Just make sure everything is working before we move on to the next step. So everything is fully functional. So go ahead and set this up yourself within your own web page. Create an input for a URL. So this is going to be dynamic so that we can enter in a bunch of different URLs. We can click make request. We're going to send that AJAX request and we'll return back the data within the console. So all of that is coming up in the next lesson.